Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and oh wow, I just watched another Goosebumps episode. This has been really fun. I kind of wish Safi would watch each one, but I actually have a plan for Safi. Safi has not seen a very high number of the episodes, and I was actually planning on doing a commentary where we would just watch all the episodes she's never seen back to back, and we would eat gross foods from the show, so like prune cookies and all that type of stuff, and Safi agreed to it. So I am here to review Phantom of the Auditorium. This one, it's another one where it's very interesting because the book was very boring. Very, very boring and difficult to get through. I did not enjoy the book. The book was mostly a mystery. And it was like, okay, who is the Phantom? Who's the Phantom? Who's the Phantom? Who's the Phantom? That's the whole book. It's just, who is that fucking Phantom? We can't figure it out. It's a problem. We got to figure out this mystery, this Scooby-Doo mystery of who is the Phantom haunting this play, supposedly. And there's a lot of things in the book that are frustrating because there's this part where it's the same in the episode, almost. It's even worse in the book. Okay. Well, I should talk about it in the pros and cons. So, pros. My first pro would be, I kind of liked a couple of the actors. I thought that Tina was really, really good. She was funny. She had, like, the best line of the whole episode, where at the end of the play, the drama teacher is celebrating, and then she's like, "Oh my God, you guys did such a good job acting." And then Tina's like, "What about the scenery?" And she just gets shoved to the side. And the thing I loved about Tina is that in the book, she's a jealous bitch, and she just wants the role of the main actress character, and so she's like really jealous, and she's saying all this stuff to basically scare away the actress, Brooke, from doing the part. And so I really loved how she was in the episode, though, because she was just funny, and she was like a typical horror movie character where they warn you about the bad stuff. Something bad happened in this house. Something bad happened here years ago. The typical horror movie character. I also kind of liked the actor who played Zeke a little bit. I also liked the actor who played Emil, the night janitor, quote unquote. He did a great job. He was probably the best actor in the whole episode. And I also liked the drama teacher, Miss Walker, because in the book, I swear, there are some bad adults in Goosebumps books. And Miss Walker in the Phantom of the Auditorium book, she is probably the worst adult in Goosebumps history. The way that she acts, she blames these kids for the play not doing well, and she's like, "If you guys keep on doing this stuff, I'm not going to do a play." She is horrible in the books. And there's this part, which we'll talk about soon, where she ignores what she sees right in front of her because she's that much of a biatch. So, another pro is that they changed things for the better, I would say. The episode overall is less of a mystery and more so a thriller. It's a straight up thriller, and I do think it is pretty effective, honestly. I don't know if it's just because real life is influencing this review a little bit, because I will talk about that at the end, because I have a personal connection to this story in this episode and in this book. And so one of the examples of how they changed the story for the better is that there's a scene in the book where the Phantom comes down and he holds on to the main actress and squeezes her and threatens her in front of everyone, and he also destroys the set. In fact, I think he destroys like an entire scene. Like he paints like an entire room, scene, board thing that they painted. He ruins it. And then you have Zeke, and Zeke is standing right in front of them as all this is happening. And then the drama teacher still thinks that Zeke is somehow responsible, even though he was standing right in front of them as the Phantom was doing this stuff with Brooke, and then he leaves. And so to me, that was really shitty. And it's almost the same in the episode, but it is slightly better, because he walks in after the whole encounter happens. So you could say, I guess, that there could be a little bit more of a doubt whether Zeke was responsible or not. And so just like examples like that, like there were improvements like that where it was like, okay, these changes were pretty good, I would say. Other than that, let's see, well, I will say the episode looks good. It looks very, very good. Like, I would say it's tough, but I think that next to Girl Who Cried Monster, this is the best looking episode so far. You know, I really like the episodes of the series with dark, gothic looks, with these very horror looks, you know, where you want to watch a horror story and have like a very scary, creepy setting. And this episode delivers on that. You have this very creepy stage where there's like this trap door that goes into like this basement area, and you have like these different rooms, and it's very creepy. And especially at nighttime, they have this like blue lighting that they do all over the place. Like, it is so good looking. It is just, it's classic to me. It is so good. And I love how they barely ever show anywhere outside the auditorium. You know, that's something, you know, that the book, they go all over the place around where they live. In the episode, it's more so just the auditorium. And they also get rid of the dumbass shit, the dumbass shit where they, spoiler alert, they break into the school in the book to see if they can find out who the Phantom is. And they want to go in the trap door to do that. And when they're about to do that, they get caught by Miss Walker. And she says that they're all, not only is the place shut down, but they're going to be suspended and all this BS. Well, in the episode, they just go down there, and then afterwards, after they've been attacked by a crazy homeless guy, who, God, he was creepy. He was really, really creepy. They just say, you know, you use bad judgment going down there, and that's it. And I thought that's much better, because they got attacked by they had a homeless guy living in the school. He was running around the school playing the Phantom. Like, that's pretty bad, right? Like, that's pretty bad security. It's pretty bad. Like, you know, he could have been a pedophile. He could have been a mass shooter. And to have him just being allowed to live underneath the stage, like, that's fucking creepy. So I think that that's a big issue that they gloss over in the book. So anyways, that's, I guess also the music is fine. The music's not as great as the other episodes, but it is still really good, as expected. Other than that, I don't really have anything else good to say. It's actually better than I remember. Like, when you really think about it critically, and you think about it in comparison to the crappy book, it really improves a little bit on the book, and it's a very creepy, fun, spooky episode with goofy elements, obviously, as a lot of Goosebumps episodes have. So now for the cons. Oh boy. First off, the actress playing Brooke, the main character, she is so bad. Let's see. We've had Lucy, the overactor, which she was okay. I give her like a D. Oh God. Okay, I do not mean it that way. Okay, I am not a pedo. Okay, I did. I give her a grade D. Okay, I don't want to hear anything else about that. Okay, and then in the second episode, who was? Oh yeah, that was the sponge one. She was, that was fun seeing her, but she was bad. You had fucking Catherine Isabel giving her worst performance, probably, hopefully, because I haven't seen everything she's done, and I just hope she's never done anything as bad as this. And then you had the kid from Cuckoo Clock of Doom. He was pretty good. He was okay. He was in multiple episodes. He was a Chad. And then he grew up to be in American Pie movies. He's fucking cool. And, he looks so much different, too. Like, he had, like, that girlish haircut. And now he looks like a fucking, like a Chad, totally. Like, they need to put him in, like, a Friday the 13th movie as a counselor. Like, if I ever made a Friday the 13th movie, I would cast him as, like, the main counselor who, like, sleeps with the final girl, Like, I just think he'd be really great in that role. As he was great in the American Pie movies, which I liked as well. Kinda. And next after that, we had, of course, the White Knight, Billy. The worst a man can get SJW caricature, going around being like, hey, I know what to do. I'm better than everyone. I'm gonna protect you guys. Like, what a fucking goody-goody two-shoe motherfucker. But this, okay, this one is the worst. Okay, no, yeah, okay, this one is the worst. Brooke from Phantom of the Auditorium. She is the worst one so far. She is the worst main character. She is so annoying. She has this scream that I don't even want to try to replicate, but it's kind of like, I don't know if that's good, if that sounds like hers, but it is the most annoying, obnoxious. It sounds like a possum dying, like a dying possum on the side of the road, just going like, and that's what this bitch sounds like. She's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And she has these fucking glasses. These circle Coke, what do they call those? The Coca-Cola lens glasses. That, you just want to just go, boom, smash those glasses. She looks terrible. She acts terrible. She's so terrible. She overacts. She's annoying. She's obnoxious. She is the worst. But the worst thing that they did with her character is that she's nothing like she is in the book. In the book, she's pretty cool. I gotta be honest, like, there was kind of like a really nice romance type of relationship going on between her and Zeke in the book, where they were both very big fans of horror movies, and they liked watching them together on VHS, and, they had a very good rapport with each other. They really liked each other. In the episode, it's the exact opposite. It doesn't really feel like she's a horror movie fan at all, because at the beginning of the episode, she's like questioning, do I have to be in love with the Phantom? Like, this bitch is so retarded. She's like, 12 years old, and she doesn't know the story of the Phantom of the Opera? I mean, you can't even call yourself a horror fan if you don't know what the story of the Phantom of the Opera is. And so that's her character. And she does not like Zeke. She thinks Zeke is a creep. She doesn't like him. She thinks he's weird, and she doesn't want to hang out with him very much, and she doesn't really even care about being in the play. It's very weird. It's like she is so unlike who she is in the book. She's so unlikable, and she's so obnoxious that I despise her character. In fact, I think the big reason of why always gave this episode a D plus or a D is because of her. Because of her, and I'm not saying, like, I hope that the actress, I don't think she did anything after this, but, you know, it's nothing against her personally. It's just that they ruined her, and the bad acting did not do any favors for that. Like, they ruined the character. She should not have been asking, why does this girl have to be in love with the Phantom? Like, this isn't 2022. You know, this is the good old days, back when, you know, people weren't a bunch of weirdos, and they didn't ask stupid questions like that. You know, like, obviously she's in love with the Phantom. You know, why would you... The play is called Phantom of the Auditorium. I mean, I think... like, why would you even have a play? God, I hate Brooke. I hate Brooke so badly. She was bad. But do you know who was almost just as bad as Brooke? The supposed Phantom himself, Brian Colson. Oh, God. This kid was terrible. He was like he was this nerdy, goofy boy with like this weird curly hairdo and like this fucking button down shirt and a shirt under that. Like, he was just so unintimidating and so unbelievable. I mean, guys, this fucking guy has been around since the early 1900s. He was born in like 1908, and he's around still in 1990s. He would not be acting and looking and talking like this kid was unless he was putting on a show. And he was not. He was terrible. And then at the end of the episode where he does this little thing where he says, I've been waiting for my time. I've been waiting for my time to shine and star in a play on this very night. And then he just disappears. And then she's like, no! And she pulls his mask off for no reason. And he's like, no! And he disappears. It is just so bad. It's so fucking bad. It's so terrible. Like, honestly, they should have switched the actors around. They should have had Brian Colson play Zeke. Because then I would have hated Zeke just like Brooke. And they should have had Zeke play Brian Colson, because he would have done a much better job as that character. In fact, you have to wonder, like, why the casting director picked these actors for the opposite roles they were right for. And you have to wonder, too, why did they pick that Brooke girl? Like, seriously, I would have rather have watched a cardboard cutout of Shirley Temple act. I would have rather watched like a cardboard cutout put on a performance than watch whatever this was with the glasses and the horrible, obnoxious screaming and the annoying, like, mousy voice. I would have rather have, like, watched anyone but this actress. I just can't believe the casting choices that they made. They were mostly trash. Another thing is that, you know, in the book, you really feel sorry for Zeke because you can clearly see that he's not the Phantom. And in the episode, they kind of, like, try to make it seem like he could be the Phantom. And it kind of, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like, I guess that works better, but he's clearly not the Phantom. Like, if you have half a brain, he's clearly, you know, he's not the Phantom. Why would he want to be the Phantom? And then, okay, and so it just is anything, in terms of other things, I would just say that, you know, they should have changed the story from the book even more, because the story in the book was not good. It was like a wannabe Sherlock Holmes mystery where let's find out who the Phantom is. And I gotta be honest, I don't care. Like, that's not what's important. What's important is the hauntings going on and the stuff going on stage. Like, that's what's important. Like, these kids are almost hurt. They're almost killed even. They had the door come crashing down. It almost, like, sawed the girl in half or, like, crushed her guts. Like, that's some bad stuff happening on that stage. And it seems like, you know, they could have rewritten the episode to be about that. In fact, they could have, I don't know, like, it seemed like a very middle-of-the-road episode. So I would give this a C+, because honestly, I kind of enjoy it a little bit, because it is better than the book. I mean, the book was just so boring and so bad. It was so horrible to get through. Like, the thing that I imagined while reading the book was, I imagined just eating a never-ending jar of artificial tasting cake frosting. Like, for some reason, I just could not get the taste of terrible artificial cake frosting out of my mouth. And I did not eat cake while reading the book, but that's what it reminded me of, was like this horrible, like, just, this is hard to get through. I don't want to swallow it. Like, it's just such an unpleasant experience. The episode is at least fun, and it's an okay episode. I wonder what happened to the actress who played Tina, because she did a great job, and then also, like, all the other actors, like the fucking homeless guy, he was creepy. Like, he could have been a really good horror movie villain, honestly. Like, he was really on another level. Like, you talk about the guy in Cuckoo Clock of Doom who says, "You have the time?" Like, that guy was creepy. But this guy, he was even creepier. Like, honestly, he was, and that's another thing, is that in the book, Emil, the homeless guy, he was not very scary, because they went into his room and they saw, like, a big bowl of fucking soggy cereal that he was eating, and he's just like a homeless guy living underneath the school, and he wasn't hurting anybody. But in the episode, he's pretty creepy. And it seems like he definitely has some sort of a mental issue. And so they could have made this a lot scarier, but still, I think it was pretty good. And so now I'd just like to also say, I do have a personal connection to this episode, because I know all about what this type of haunting is like. I bought a piece of a house where a famous actor was murdered, and I have been haunted by this person for years now. And making any type of movie that I'm making will be haunted as well. And so this movie that I am making is currently being haunted by this person. And it is very, very intense. And but I will say, like, it's pretty cool. Like, all the choices that I'm making for the movie are just so good that it's like, you know, I'm thankful, honestly. Like, that's the thing that they never talked about in the episode 2, was the fact that this Phantom, he did everything. Like, he helped paint the scenery. He did all the scenery work with Tina. He was doing everything because he wanted to. He wanted to make sure that this play was successful. And they never really kind of act like that in the episode. He's just kind of like, oh, I'm going to help out because I'm a nice guy. And I will say that, like, that's what it is really like, is that this person, it's like they're very, very helpful because they want to see the work succeed. And so this episode in the book, it is very realistic. Very, very realistic. Almost to the point of being kind of scary. So if you guys want to know more about that, I am going to be doing an interview. I don't know when it'll be up in relation to this video, and I really don't want to advertise it very much. I just want to talk about my experience and then be done with it, or then just keep it in private. But I will say that this was realistic, and if you ever wanted to do like another Phantom of the Auditorium, the one person you should ask is probably me, because I'll know exactly like what to put in the story. As I did with my pitch, I did a remake pitch of the book, and so, well, actually it was of the episode. So anyways, this was an average episode. It was okay. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.